From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Our top story, a small plane with 2 people on board crashed while landing on an airstrip just east of Fairbanks around 2 o'clock this afternoon, sending the pilot to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital with undisclosed injuries. North Star Volunteer Fire Department initially responded to 1235 Airline Drive on reports of a plane crash on a small airstrip located in a residential area near Dennis Road. Alaska State Troopers and Federal Aviation Administration officials are investigating the cause of the crash, but did not release details on the incident. Neighbors reported seeing a small red and white plane take off earlier in the day, but could not confirm any more specifics on the plane. North Star Deputy Chief David Daniel provided some insight as to what happened this afternoon.
It did crash on landing. Reports are that it kind of hopped when it landed and then veered off left and into the trees. There were 2 people on board. There was a pilot and a passenger. The passenger was uninjured and was cleared. They did transport the pilot to FMH for further evaluation. President Barack Obama today visited Dillingham in Kotzebue on the last day of his Alaska trip. A main theme was bringing energy efficiency to the villages. It was announced that the state will receive more than $20 million in new funding through grants and other means from the federal government. The administration also announced efforts to map Alaska and the Arctic. The Department of Agriculture offered up 33 new grants to improve rural water systems. The president said they are looking for ways to reduce prices in rural areas.
Because everything has to be shipped in, the costs for folks living in Dillingham and a lot of the villages along Bristol Bay end up being extraordinary. You're looking at prices that are double in some cases for basic necessities like milk, like orange juice. That's part of the reason why the subsistence economy is so important and why fishing is so important.
A Fairbanks woman is facing felony charges after allegedly attacking her girlfriend with a taser. 23-year-old Tristan Nelson Dunn is charged with second-degree assault. According to troopers, Dunn reported her girlfriend destroyed her deck after an altercation last evening. Now, once troopers arrived, they found evidence that a fight had ensued and phoned her girlfriend, who then returned with a large gash on her head. The victim claimed Dunn attacked her and smashed a fan over her head and later hit her with a taser. Troopers also found clumps of the victim's hair around the residence. Dunn was arrested and taken to Fairbanks Correctional Center, and she's being held without bail. The Fairbanks North Star Borough is fast-tracking an ordinance to approve the emergency procurement and temporary lease of heavy equipment following last month's fire at the Borough Solid Waste Facility. The ordinance is scheduled to be heard during a Borough Assembly Finance Committee meeting tomorrow night. Following that meeting, the Assembly will hold a special meeting to advance the ordinance to a second reading. The ordinance will allow the borough to waive the normal procurement process that requires months for contracts to be completed for the equipment purchases and repairs to the heavy equipment maintenance building at the facility. Under the measure, Borough Mayor Luke Hopkins will be required to provide financial reports to the Assembly according to a predetermined schedule included in the waiving ordinance. A report by the State Department of Labor and Workforce Development is reinforcing just how important tourism is for the Denali Borough and Interior Alaska. Denali is the 3rd most visited national park across the country, creating a significant seasonal jump in employment and population. Around half of the borough economy is estimated to be generated by the tourism and hospitality industry. Now, that's largely staffed by non-residents. The Economic Trends Review shows the population of those who do live in the area throughout the whole year has stayed stable over the past decade. Economist Neil Fried says larger national trends like recessions have the ability to influence the Denali borough economy more than others in the state.
Obviously, there typically are fewer tourists, fewer people decide to travel, and that certainly would attract those people that are tied to the visitor industry in the Denali borough. The flip side of that, of course, now is the American economy is doing very well and has been now for a number of years, and so there's been a really nice bounce back in that part of the economy in the most recent years.
When we return, drones have been in the headlines quite a bit lately, and now the skies of Alaska are seeing more. A meeting locally with industry leaders is discussing the future of drones, and we'll tell you what they had to say. Also, it's our final episode of What's Happening at Pioneer Park, and tonight we'll showcase what they are planning for the upcoming Labor Day weekend. Those stories and more when we come back. Welcome back. Industry leaders are meeting up in Fairbanks this week for the Alaska Unmanned Aircraft Systems annual meeting. Mike Fussell was at the start of the event yesterday and has more on the opportunities and challenges facing drone operators across the strait.
The morning started with a dose of reality. State Senate Finance co-chair Pete Kelly underscored the difficulty of making funding promises for research during a budget shortfall. Kelly says research could help create a more diversified economy, but will be difficult to address until an immediate budget solution is found. But interest in unmanned aircraft systems seems to be increasing beyond the state level, a change some say may help keep money coming in.
Can we do this with unmanned aircraft, the sensing piece, safely, reliably, and provide value? I think that we could advance a lot of those things for the Arctic Council.
Private businesses are also investing in drones and other unmanned aircraft systems. Representatives from Pogo Mine demonstrated how the technology is applied for safety. UAF professor Mike Hatfield says while unmanned aircraft may be in its infancy, businesses are beginning to take note of its value.
We've got a few companies that have been approved to do that within the last couple of months, and that's very exciting. So now we're going to see opportunities for those companies to go out and service the community's general needs with the UAVs.
But the increasing popularity does come with challenges.
Some are ending up in the hands of pilots who aren't quite ready to fly yet. They end up in restricted airspace like this and avoid near collisions with larger aircraft.
Tart says that's something the industry should be concerned about.
My airmen flew 300,000 flying hours every year. You need to transfer all your lessons learned in military and demand the same safety levels in civilian.
Tart says once this and several other challenges are confronted, the advances drones could make for Alaska are numerous. Reporting, I'm Mike Fussell.
Well, as the summer season comes to an end, it is time to check in with our friends at Pioneer Park for the last time this year.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of What's Happening at Pioneer Park. We're back with Park Manager Jason Avery. Jason, how's it going?
We're doing great. We're getting ready for our final Labor Day weekend.
Oh, tell me what you guys have going on.
Well, we've got bands throughout the day. We also have a parade that starts at noon at the Noel Wien Library. And then, like I said, entertainment throughout the day, as well as a big sidewalk sale for all of our merchants here at Pioneer Park for their end of the year sales.
So it's been a really great year this year, and as we have explored the park and stuff, I think that it's time to take a look back.
Sounds great.
I think we've got a little machine here ready to go.
We've got a time machine.
Come on, let's go. All right. All right, hit me back. Ready? Here we go, Jason. Kick her into high gear. Let's take a look back at what we did at Pioneer Park. So what's one of your favorite memories? Come on, tell me.
Man, I would have to say it started off on the riverboat in Nana for 4th of July.
Oh, yeah. We got to take a look up there and talk to Army and Air Force people all about what was happening at the 4th of July.
We also had a chance to run with bathtubs all the way through Gold Rush
Oh,
Town.
I can't forget beating you.
No, I thought I won.
No, I got the trophy.
What about when we dressed up for Golden Days?
Oh, of course, that's a great time. And you know what was really great? Always great. There's so many different museums inside Pioneer Park, and we got to play with some of the stuff in the museum from the old days. Remember, we snapped a couple of selfies. Another great thing about Pioneer Park we can't forget, of course, is the train.
We got to ride the train. That was fantastic.
Okay, high five. All right, Jason, so it sure has been a fun season here at Pioneer Park.
Absolutely.
But you know, even though the park is closed for summer, it doesn't close all the way down for winter. So tell me what you guys have going on here.
We've got a ton of activities throughout the winter. Urge everybody to get on Facebook and check those activities out. We've got Spooky Town, Spooky Train, Holiday Bazaar, as well as probably 20 other activities throughout the winter.
Well, it sure has been fun, and I have to tell you, I've been waiting to get inside this golf cart. So make sure to come on down, check out Labor Day weekend this weekend, because that's what's happening this week at Pioneer Park. Always a fun time there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason told me at the last one I could get on that golf cart, so I took full advantage of that.
Is that what the noise was?
Yeah, you had to do it with your feet, so it was kind
okay.
of, I almost crashed a few times, but
that's interesting.
Not all the way.
Okay, very good. Joe Cook is up next with sports and has a story on a former Nanook making it to the NHL.
Oh, that's interesting. Find out more about that. Plus, UAF volleyball gets set for their first tournament of the season. I like that. Set.
Set. Yeah, I got it.
Set.
Those stories and more after the break.
Welcome back Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your Hump Day Wednesday Sportscast. One former Nanack hockey player will make his NHL debut this season, but he won't be wearing a jersey. He'll be wearing stripes. Brandon Gorelitz is one of 4 new NHL officials for the 2015-2016 season. The story coming from scoutingtherefs.com. Gorelitz, who is from Trail, British Columbia, is coming out of the AHL. He also had stints in the ECHL as a linesman and ref the 2013 and 2014 Cup Finals of the Central Hockey League. The former Nanack played for Alaska from 2006 to 2008. In 2 seasons, he produced 6 points and 42 blocks in 65 career games as a defenseman. Before that, he played for the Trail Smoke Eaters of the BCHL. The Alaska Nanacks volleyball team is set for their season opening tournament this weekend. UAF will host the Minot State University Beavers from North Dakota, St. Joseph's College Pumas out of Indiana, and St. Mary's University Rattlers from Texas. All 3 visiting teams in this year's Flint Hills Resources Nanack Classic won at least 10 games last year. Alaska will open their season and the tournament on Friday night at 7 o'clock against Minot State. UAF has won 2 sets in the last 2 tournaments, but won 2 of 3 matches in 2012, and they were the runner-ups. Team captain Sam Hartoon and key returner Riley Podevich are excited to start the year with a competitive tournament. Head coach Brian Scott has installed an up-tempo offense that can help UAF win more than 2 sets this weekend.
I think the fast offense that he's bringing to us is really going to help. I think that's going to make us a really strong offensive team. And it moves it around from outside to middle to right side in the quicker sets. That's just going to make us really, really strong on the court. So I really like the fast offense that he's bringing to our team.
There's a new air to the team, and everything we do is more competitive, it's faster, it's stronger, and I think it's going to be much more beneficial and it's going to pay off in the long run. So going into this tournament, I think everyone's still just buying into what coaches say, and you know, it's still very early on, so we're going to see what happens.
In high school volleyball, the first Aurora Conference game between 2 interior schools was at Boileau Hall on Tuesday night. The Allison Ravens visiting the Monroe Rams in the Aurora opener for both teams. The Ravens took control early in sets. They went up by 4 in the first set. The Rams got a spark from Kiana King, who had 9 kills. In Monroe, they would come back for a 25-18 win. More of the same in the second set. The Ravens had an early lead, but Monroe went to Clara Cox in the second. She nailed 4 straight kills, finished with a game-high 12 kills. Allison, they rallied a bit behind Lexi Smith, who finished with 5 kills and started off as the setter. The Ravens got within 3 after trailing by 8. But Monroe, they would take the second set 25-18 again. The Rams start the third set on a 6-0 run, and they cruise to a 25-12 win and sweep the Ravens. Monroe bounces back from their first loss in 20 regular season outings with a conference victory over Allison.
We got more focused. Our setters did a really good job. Giselle Hollis, she's awesome. She does anything you ask for, and you know, we just came together and played as a team.
We need to work as 6 individuals as a whole team on the court, and we just need to adapt a little bit faster to new positions we might be playing or different people we're next to. But I have faith in my team that we'll be able to do that down the road.
It feels good to get back in the season. I wasn't able to play for the first game. Losing my first game my senior year, it was kind of sad, but winning this game meant a lot. You know, this game really counts because it's in our conference, so it was really great.
And in high school tennis, North Pole Patriots split a doubleheader on Tuesday. The Patriots were victorious 6-1 over Monroe before falling 2-5 to West Valley. And boys #1 singles, Ben Bierenstad won 6-7, 7-6, 12-10 over Monroe's Jacob Roenhorst. Monroe's Morgan Withers got the lone win for the Rams 7-6, 6-2 over Marin Welch. Roan Wilson of West Valley also had a long match with Rosalind Stapp of North Pole in girls #2 singles, but she won 6-4, 4-6, 5-10. Be advised, racing fans, the interior racing season for 2015 wraps up this weekend. Friday night, the GFRA will hold a special night race at 8 p.m. at the Mitchell Raceway. It will be racing under the lights for the final points races of the season. There will also be driver payouts as well. Now, Saturday at 2 o'clock, they will hold fun races and the last races of the season. And out in North Pole, the North Pole Speedway will have their season finale this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Legends, Bandos, Quarter Midgets, and even the Lawnmower class, yes, the Lawnmower class, will have their final races of the year on the paved oval in North Pole. And that's it for Sports Tonight. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into a Wednesday night edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather. What a beautiful day. Man, it was one of those days you definitely want to play hooky. We had a little cold temperatures this morning. Like we were talking last night about frost, and I had quite a few viewers email me that they had frost in their areas. So that was the forecast actually validated. But tonight, we're not looking for frost at all. It's going to be warm enough that it should not be frosty whatsoever. Susan Godden was able to capture this magnificent sunset on the Gilmore Trail. Look at the colors. That is gorgeous shot. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share, send it to photos@ktvf11.com. Your numbers look like this. Today's high, 57 degrees. The overnight low last night, 31 at the airport. The record high was 74. That was in 1917. 18 degrees in 1922. Sunrise and sunset, 14 hours and 32 minutes of daylight, a loss of 7 minutes from yesterday. Our satellite and radar showing a little bit of energy moving in from the southwest, and that's going to result in quite a bit of rainfall over the south central sections into the southwest, but all of it's going to stay south of the Alaska Range. We're not looking for any cloud cover even, because high pressure is going to continue to protect all of the interior and the eastern half of the state. Now, as far as what's going on across the state today, well, over southeast Alaska, another nice day, lots of sunshine, 61 degrees at Juneau. In Anchorage, some showers around there, 65 degrees. Kodiak, even the showers and an isolated thunderstorm, 57. Over the Cold Bay region, some scattered showers, 59 degrees. Up and down the west coast, temperatures very consistent, 56 at Bethel, 53 at Nome. And north of the Brooks Range, a little warmer for Barrow, 43 degrees for the high there. Fort Yukon at 57. Lower 48 weather, the hot temperatures continue across the Central Plains into the Rockies, 92 degrees at Denver, the same for Salt Lake City. More rain falling across the Pacific Northwest, and it's really helping out the firefighters there. And 95 degrees in Billings, Montana. Another hot day in Dallas, over 100 degrees for Phoenix and Las Vegas. Over the eastern side of the country, looking at temperatures very hot there too, 94 in St. Louis, the same for Washington, D.C., not quite 90 degrees in New York City, very warm and humid across the deep south. On the satellite and radar, again, more rain and thunderstorms moving across the deep south, helping to add to flooding conditions around the Galveston, Texas area, right across the Gulf of Mexico. More showers over the northwest, or the Central Plains and the Midwest, and another frontal boundary bringing more showers across the Pacific Northwest. Now, the heavy thunderstorms, like I said, are really bringing a lot of localized flash flooding, torrential downpours, and travel delays because of the reduced visibility in the storms, and it's very warm and humid too on top of that, so a real mess down there. The new jet stream is changing again very high on the eastern side of the country, a big dip down across the northwest and the western half, which means more showers and cooler temperatures and a really good chance to battle those fires that they've been working on for the last couple of months. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections, mostly sunny skies at Barrow, a few rain showers in Nome, but lots of sunshine at Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, look at this forecast. Plenty of sunshine for Delta and Fairbanks, and just a few clouds at Healy. While over the southeastern sections, mostly sunny skies for Juneau, partly cloudy skies at Ketchikan. To the southwest we go, and looking at rain for Cold Bay and Bethel, and rain developing in Kodiak. And over the south central regions, looking at periods of rain scattered across the entire region. So wet forecast there. Once again, time for our kids' weather. And tonight, we're going to be talking with another young man who has a question for me about clouds.
Hi, my name's Gabriel Schaefer in Miss Smith class, Anderson Elementary. My question is for the weatherman. How does clouds get made?
Obviously, you need moisture in the air and a little bit of dust to help the raindrops form, and that's how the clouds get formed. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather, and tomorrow night the entire class will be here. Tomorrow night, or actually tonight's forecast, 38 degrees, not nearly as cold. Auroras are possible. Tomorrow's forecast, 68 degrees, more brilliant sunshine, and even warmer than today, close to 70 degrees. And the extended forecast calling for temperatures in the 60s all the way across the board. No precipitation expected. Overnight lows once again right around 40 degrees, and no more frost expected either. And a good thing for there. Did you guys see frost this morning when you got up this morning?
I tried not to look. I just tried not to look.
Yep. Okay. All right, thanks, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Tonight at NBC Nightly News, Obama administration secures with Senate endorsement today to save the Iran deal. That's up next with Lester Holt.
All right, join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center,